Hi, this is The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi, founder of The Complete Herbal Guide. And today I have my co-host, Natalie Boehm. We've been doing a lot of work together, and we created a partnership where Natalie is she owns and she is the founder of Defeating Epilepsy, and she runs the organization in California, and it is worldwide, globally, and nationally. She helps people with epilepsy, and we thought it would be great with my experience and her experience to put it together as one and help you guys cope and live with epilepsy so you could have a healthy, happy, and good life that is productive. So today we thought it would be a great idea. We were talking about it to talk about epilepsy and how to avoid the stress from friends and family during the holiday season. Now, as you know, a lot of times, sometimes, holidays can be really happy and they can be fun, but they also could be stressful. And sometimes it can be stressful when you're getting together with friends and family that might, get under your skin a little bit, or might be too, let's say, opinionated, and they don't really know what you're going through, but yet they have an opinion and a solution, and it can get frustrating. Don't you think, Natalie?
Oh, very much so. And I can say from my life's experience, I have a lot of, family and friends who I know they have good intentions and everything, but when we get together, even something as simple as, "Oh, did you take your medicine this morning? You're going to be okay today." I know they mean good by that, but I don't want to get mothered. It's like if we're going to
Yes.
lunch or we're meeting for a holiday or something, at this stage in the game, I've got this. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing I found is family, they mean well, but they have a history of micromanaging or taking a parent role. And I think the reason it aggravates me and I had to learn to set healthy boundaries was, my parents in the 1980s didn't get the support they needed from the neurologist. They didn't suggest other things such as a child psychologist or some really structured care plan
Yeah.
for my parents and I to have coping skills. And
Right.
that turned my parents into helicopter parents.
Mhm.
The thing was keep me in the house, know where I was at all times.
Oh
That's the
my
only
gosh.
way, rather than the
Yeah.
what if. And that's why I found being with family, the holidays or special events, they've gotten a lot better. But I mean, even when I went away to college, it's, did you take your medicine? Have you seen the doctor? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And it's like space.
Yeah.
You need healthy boundaries, even if you're
So,
dealing with a chronic illness.
I feel the same way. A lot of times, I'll have family members, they will do the same thing. Did you take your medicine? Are you okay? How are you feeling? And, basically, it's not like how I'm feeling, like, I woke up in the morning, or do you have the sniffles, or, what's going on? It's basically, do you think you'll have a seizure? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm good today. I feel really good today. I took my medicine, and, or I'll have people, a lot of times, sometimes I'll go into my head and I'll think about things because I just tend to get ideas. I'm a Pisces, I'm creative, always thinking. And
I am
sometimes
too.
I go into my head and I'm thinking about something, and I might look like I'm gazing into space. And then people will, especially my kids will get nervous, like, "Mom, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm okay. I'm just thinking of something," and it's like, I know they mean well. It can get frustrating. And then I've been to family events and they do the same thing, and, it can be frustrating. And then also you do have those annoying family relatives that are just, you know what? They're family. You love them because they're family. But if it was really up to you, you would probably keep your distance if they weren't family, and
Exactly.
they tend to get really underneath your skin. They may say stupid stuff, or they just might be just mean and cruel. You do have those family members that are just not happy with who they are. It's their own issues. It's not your issue. It's not because of you. It's their own issues that they're dealing with. But they may take it out on you through their own behaviors, and it could get stressful. I've had
Oh
one,
yeah.
I had one family member that was just, plain out nasty to me for no reason, and just the words she said, the things she said, she got me so worked up. I ended up having a seizure. And that
Oh
could
my
have been
goodness.
avoided because, so I learned after that, you know what? I'm not going to let people, family members, friends, get to me. If I'm in an event and someone upsets me by what they say or what they do, I have to learn how to cope with it in a productive way. I can't let it stress me out, because in the long run, I'm the person who's going to hurt, not them.
Oh,
I'm the one who's going to have the
absolutely.
seizure. I'm the one who's going to have the after effects. I'm the one that could get hurt. I don't want to be that person. So, for me, I learned a technique where I kind of let things go one ear out the other. And I do that by not focusing on negativity. If someone's negative, I just shut them off. I learned how to just not pay attention to them and focus on other stuff that makes me happy, positive things that are going around in the room. And I just close myself off to that area. And if I could walk away from it, I walk away out of the room and I just leave, and just leave. And, also taking a deep breath. I learned that sometimes you could be in a stressful, event, and, someone's really bothering you. And you could use quiet meditation by using breathing techniques and just slowly breathing in, breathing out, in through the nose, out through the mouth, very quietly, subtle, nobody notices. And it calms you down. It relaxes you, or just focusing on an object in a room and and then blocking everything else out and just focusing on that object for a second and just thinking something positive in your head. And that could calm you also. And, and realizing that when people act out and they say really ignorant things, like I said earlier, it's not us. They have issues within themselves, and they behave sometimes the way they do because of their own issues. So don't take things personally. If someone says something really crude, rude, whatever the case may be, don't take it personally, because usually when people say not so nice things, it's because they have their own issues. And, with the motherly thing, it does get annoying. I'm telling you, I get that help, that's that all the time. And they see it in my face now. So I think they try to back off a little, because I'm just like,
Yeah. And the thing I could say to our guests who are listening, set healthy boundaries for yourself. For example, what Stacey was just talking about, having a relative say something mean to you. I had a relative for many, many years was body shaming me because of being overweight. And she had her own, weight problems. She wasn't obese, she was a healthy weight, but I could tell she's never been happy with who she is. And she would just pick me apart, you're too fat here, you should be wearing clothes like this, you should be doing this. And it really, hit my self-confidence for the longest of times. And I finally had to tell myself, I eat right. I exercise almost every day. I try to exercise at least 5 days a week. There's some things with my metabolism due to, unfortunately, I have chronic stress because of previous trauma, which led to the development of fibromyalgia. It really started a real nasty downward roller coaster and some autoimmune complications. I finally had to say to myself, no one is worth getting sick like this for.
Exactly.
And I had to stop it. And I told myself, you know what, if all I can do on the holiday is get on Zoom and say, hey, just want to see, want to say happy holidays. I want to know you're doing okay. Or even if it's just sending a text saying, haven't talked in a while, let's talk on this day. Are you going to be free? Just to make an effort. But there's sometimes some of the people in your life, it's okay to keep them at a distance.
Yes.
And it's not that you're trying to be mean. It's not that you're trying to hurt them. But at the end of the day, you have to think of not just your physical well-being, your emotional and mental, spiritual. There's so many things that bring wellness all together. And just one thing being really off can have just such a toxic effect on the body.
Oh, 100%. I think that's an excellent point that you made. Sometimes we do have those negative people in our life, and sometimes we do have to stay away from them, and it's not to be mean. We can send them a postcard on Christmas and, wish them the very best. And on Hanukkah, we can send them, a card out and happy Hanukkah and whatever, holidays you celebrate. But, you could just send a card out, be nice, be the one who's higher. But then keep your distance from that person, because you know what people don't realize, but 70% of illnesses are caused by stress. And if you stress
Yes.
yourself out, you are breaking down your immune system. And when you break down your immune system, you basically open the doors and say, all right, illnesses, come and get me. And it's not worth doing that to yourself. And I've been
Yeah.
that my own victim, getting so stressed out, especially during the holidays, and you just open yourself up for more illnesses. And sometimes those illnesses that creep in, they don't creep out so easily. It's not like a
Oh
cold
no.
or a virus. It could stay with you, or it could stay with you for a very long time. So is it worth it? Ask yourself.
Yeah.
You are number one. Is it worth it?
Well, in my book that I'm writing right now, I'm writing my 7th chapter on stress and the fear we have of failing, the toxicity we tend to have on ourselves.
Yes.
And I found a peer review journal article. I'll have to email it to you. And it
Yeah.
was so interesting because the researchers said pain is actually now one of the main causes of disability. And it's because in our society now, we have become such a dog eat dog society,
Yeah.
taking on too much, not knowing how to find balance, not knowing how to deal with negative emotions or
Right.
stressful challenges. We become our own worst enemy.
We
And then
do.
we get sick. And, they were talking about differences of acute stress versus chronic stress. And I developed chronic stress when my one son was having health complications, and I haven't been able, I'm still trying to learn to deal with stress. And I
Yeah.
was reading about the effects of the surge. At first we have of course I can't think cortisol. I couldn't think of the word for a moment. In acute stress, we get that surge of cortisol because it's a protectant to us. When
Yeah.
we have chronic stress, we get that surge, but then it keeps going. And then
Yes.
finally, the body's like, I can't make up enough to keep up with you. And
Yes.
it's when people get hypothyroidism, hormonal imbalance, all sorts of complications.
Yes.
And they were saying that right there is the beginning stages of it, leading to the autoimmune complications that you see long term. So a
And
lot of times we're actually making ourselves sick.
we are definitely, definitely. And when I was going through chronic stress, that's exactly what happened. My cortisol level used to be high in the morning, and then it would be low at night. At first I had normal cortisol level, and then it went to high. And then at nighttime, it would go back to low. So my doctor was a little concerned, but because it was going back to low, she took it more with a little bit of stride. But then when I started going through a lot of stressful situations with family members and other issues, the holidays come in, all that stuff. And, for whatever reason, my cortisone level was high in the morning and it was high at night. And that brought a lot of concern to her. And that's exactly what happened. My immune system broke down. I started getting sick. A lot of issues were occurring, and the chronic stress, it stops you. It slows your motivation. It slows the way, it makes you feel like you just don't want to do anything. It could be really chronic mentally and physically to your body. And so you don't want
Yes.
to do that to yourself. So in the holidays, don't get stressed out. You're stressed out enough because you think, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. And then, oh my God, I'm going to see this one. I'm going to see Aunt, Elaine, oh my God, I got to deal with her. Don't think about that. When you get there, you could just be a casual, hello, how's everything going? Maybe give them a casual hug to keep the peace, and then just go into the other room or just talk to somebody else and keep your distance. And like we said, there's other methods, and you could even do yoga and meditation before you go and just relax yourself. So
That's
you're
an
at a
excellent
calm state,
idea.
when
Yeah.
you get there, you're not all worked up, you calmed yourself down, you get into the environment, and you give yourself a little mental plan. You know what? I'm not going to dwell on it, but if I see so-and-so, I'm going to be nice, but I'm not going to be too close to that person. And I'm going to just enjoy the night and make the best of it.
Exactly. No, and that's what we have to do. I mean, it's so important, like I was saying earlier, about establishing healthy boundaries. And I mean, it comes to a point, if you have a family member like that, no one's worth having a seizure over. If you have to see them in person, it's okay to be hi and then say, hi and excuse yourself. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you truly feel, okay, anytime I'm around this person, they upset me to the point where I know I'm going to have a seizure, either if I don't that day, the next day or two after. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I hope you're doing well, but unfortunately, I can't come today. And
Right.
if they have a problem, that's their problem. I mean, if it's that toxic that, okay, if I go see them, I am going to get sick, something bad is going to happen. No one's worth that.
No. And that's when you have to draw the line and say, thank you so much for the invitation, but unfortunately I won't be able to make it, and you don't have to tell them why. You could just keep it, and just say, I'm sorry, I can't make it, maybe next time, and just thank them for the invitation, and just keep it short and sweet. Sometimes I've learned over the years, too much detail is not a good thing. Sometimes
Yes.
brief, blunt, to the point, just be brief and be blunt. When I say blunt, I mean, just thank you so much for the invite. I really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I can't make it, but, maybe next year, we can, get together during the holidays, and just leave it at that, as the word maybe was in the sentence, not I will see
Exactly.
you. You know what I mean?
And the nice thing now with technology is, let's say you can't go somewhere. You know, I have a lot of friends, still home in New York, friends out here in LA, where if I really need to see them and we can't get together, we get on Zoom like this. And we
Yeah,
have like a little Zoom get together and we'll talk for a couple hours. And
right.
sometimes, even if you can't physically be with people, but you can have at least someone there in your presence to talk to,
Yes.
even just that makes a big difference.
Definitely, definitely. And you could do the same with the holidays. If you don't want to go, you know what? You ask somebody, can I, can you click onto Zoom or FaceTime and let me say hi to everybody, and that one person, even like a little cousin, they're so technical, these kids nowadays. They can run around and you could say, hi, so and so, hi. Everybody says hello, and you know what? You kept the peace. You don't look like you're trying to be rude, mean, or obnoxious. You said hello to everybody. You get a good feeling. They're feeling good, and the stress isn't there.
Yeah. And I found, even with having family so far away, my family's still in New York and my in-laws in Germany, sometimes having that long distance, I found we learned to appreciate each other more
Yes.
and heal from a lot of things. Whereas when I was around them all the time, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, you guys drive me nuts. I'm like, I'm ready to run away. I'm so done. So even just, my in-laws and I will talk once a week on Skype with the kids. And then when I took them to Germany for the first time in May so they could meet their grandparents in
Yeah.
person, it really was such a wonderful moment, where in the past when we were around each other so much, it was like I'd be like ready to take a deep breath in my mind go, I'm not going to lose it today. I'm really
Yeah.
not going to lose it today. She's not going to get under my skin. And of course she did, but don't do what I did in the past. Be positive, please.
Yeah. And that points it out that, what, no, sometimes we could try and we could do our best and it's not going to really turn out that great, but we made the effort, and then,
Yes.
you know what, and, as long as you need to have a couple of self techniques, a little things you could do, focus on the positive, be appreciative that you're around the people you love. Don't focus on the people that you don't, particularly care for. Think about the people that make you happy. And like you said, sometimes when you're around people, you tend not to appreciate them as much. And then, unfortunately, when they're not around, that's when you appreciate them the most, because then you realize, you think about the good stuff about them, and especially when someone passes, we don't think about the negative stuff really anymore. We focus on all the good things that we had with that person's relationship. Well, we need to take that mentality and bring it, to reality, and,
Oh, that is
of
the
the
truth.
present, you know what I mean?
Because
And
I find when people pass away, doesn't matter if it's celebrities or family, that's when I find everybody talks about them in the highest way and everything. And you want to turn to them and go, well, when they were alive, did you tell them the same thing? So
yeah,
that's really an excellent point, is it's important to have relationships, but to make the goal of making them healthy ones. You don't want
Yes,
to say, I love and miss somebody when they're gone. You want to
right.
be able to enjoy that time with them until it does happen.
Exactly. And even like, having maybe a little common tea, before you go, to these places, sometimes, they have a lot of nice supplements that kind of calm you, but you have to make sure, like the common supplements, we have to make sure it doesn't collide with our epilepsy medications, because there are a lot of
Yeah.
supplements that can really make you feel very relaxed, but you don't want to feel so relaxed that the next day you feel out of it, and you don't want it to interact with your medication. So you could get a common teas. Look at the supplements though, and make sure that they don't interact with your medications, because there are supplements out there that will, interact with medications that, especially, anticonvulsant medications.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's an option, but you got to be a little careful, and, I've even used passion fruit to be, to calm me and relax me. And I noticed when I took too much, it made me too tired. And I was past the common zone. I was tired, and you don't want that to happen. And now that I'm on Onfi, I think if I took passion flower now, I think that it would actually make me completely out of it and knock me out, because Onfi is a sedative, and so is passion flower. So, you have to
Yeah.
be careful. So it's an option, but you got to do your homework before you actually, dip into that area. But
And if you go to our website, YouTube channel, we recently did some articles and videos on more the naturopathic route about things like acupuncture and epilepsy and vitamins in epilepsy.
excellent
I
idea.
don't
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think we have the video up yet for the vitamins in epilepsy, but it is on the blog, the article. And anything I could say, because I've used supplements over the years, pre-COVID, before I got real sick, I was involved in powerlifting, and I'm slowly getting there again. But
Mhm.
I was always very pro supplement. And you really want to, some will tell you on the back if you should be careful for things like heart or your heart or epilepsy and things. Not all do. And I
Yeah.
just tell people the best advice I give to people when it comes to supplements, and I'm not a doctor, this is myself from being
Yeah.
in fitness and training in martial arts. If you really don't understand what's on the back of the label,
Don't take
research
it.
it before you buy it. If you
Yeah.
don't know it, if you're doubting something, that's the red flag right there. Don't
Hmm.
take it until you know it, because there's
Exactly.
times I took something and I thought, oh, I'm okay. I was lucky it didn't trigger me to have a seizure, but
Yeah.
I forget the one ingredient. It's in some of the it's not caffeine based, it's more natural, but it acts like a natural caffeine.
Yeah.
And when I was taking it, I have to say the I got the effects I wanted. My body fat percentage was going down, but it was burning so much through my body. It was burning my tegretol as well.
Oh,
So it was
yeah.
bringing my tegretol levels down without me even realizing it. And I
Yeah.
had a real nasty aura the one morning. And I'm like, oh, that was out of the ordinary. I haven't had anything like that in a long time. And
Right.
I took a couple days to rest. And my gut just told me, because I hadn't been using the product that long, my gut's
Yeah.
like, I better look up a couple things. And when I took the bottle over and I looked up the one ingredient, they said, pretty much what happened to me is what, it did what it was supposed to do. The vitamin was working the way it should, but I wasn't the person who should have been taking that vitamin.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you want to make sure, I just tell anyone, if you don't understand it, something at the back, something that doesn't make sense, don't put it in you. But we have in the article, we have a list of different supplements that are actually very good for people with epilepsy. And then the second part of the article says stuff you should stay away from in the research they've done on why you shouldn't be taking it.
And I also think a great idea would be to pamper yourself before you go to these events. You're so stressed out, you're thinking so much probably about going that you're all stressed. What about if you went and got your nails done, or maybe got a pedicure, or you get a little massage to relax yourself? And
Oh,
then,
absolutely.
and then you go either the next day or you go that day, depending if you can get in for a massage. That will relax you and calm you, and they even have, if you're able to purchase one, they have chairs that have the massage in it, or just to try to do things that help bring calmness, and then go to the event,
Yeah.
and clear your mind and don't think. Our biggest problem as humans, we think too much. Don't think, live in the moment.
Yeah.
Just take it day by day, minute by minute. Don't think about the what ifs. Think about now. You're in the now moment.
And some of the things I used to do when I would go visit family for holidays in the evening, and I thought I knew one or two people would be there where I'd be happy to see them, but the sooner I could leave, the better. I would in the morning before getting up and getting going.
Yeah.
I literally allow myself to have a jammy morning. I wouldn't rush if I knew I didn't have to be somewhere till the afternoon. I just do what I could to be relaxed. Sometimes even just sitting in your jammies in your favorite chair or on the couch and
Yes.
putting something on TV that makes you happy. Yeah, you're not up and going, but sometimes we need that. Sometimes just sitting down saying, you know what, I need 30 minutes by myself. I'm putting my feet up. I'm just doing this and I'm not worried
Perfect.
about what anyone else is doing. Sometimes
Exactly.
that's all it takes.
And one big thing I've learned too is don't fall into their traps. I think sometimes if no matter what you say is not going to make a difference, stop. Let them do the
Yes.
talking. Let them say whatever they want. Don't keep interacting and don't keep coming back with something, because you're never going to win and you're only going to work yourself up, and then the possibility of have a seizure is right there. So
Yeah.
if someone is constantly saying, they keep saying you did this wrong, da 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 da, blah 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 blah, just let it go. You know what, you're
Yeah.
not going to win the war, so why even bother to fight? You know what I'm saying? It's worthless, it's meaningless. So don't fall into the trap. Just say okay, and then just kind of walk away if you can.
Yeah. And that's the best advice right there, I could say, because I found in the past when I would try to dispute something or try to justify something,
Yeah.
that's what they're looking for. Some people,
Yes.
that's where they get their energy.
They do.
And I have one relative where the moment you do that, it's almost like she hooks you. And before
Yes.
you know it, there's a fight
Mhm.
and she's gotten her satisfaction. Sometimes, even if you don't agree with someone and you just go, okay, sounds good, and you leave it there, they don't know what to do. They're just like,
Yes.
they're waiting for the confrontation. It's
They're
like, wait a
waiting for
minute,
it.
you're not giving me the negativity I wanted, that I can't throw anything negative back at you. You're not giving me the tool I need. And
Exactly.
sometimes that's all it takes to stop them is go, okay, sounds good, or yeah, you're right, okay, and walk away. That right there is a more powerful weapon at times.
Yes. And I have a couple of people in my family, and I have a few friends that thrive off of confrontation. They actually try to get the screwdriver, and they know what your trigger points are. They know what's going to make you go off. And for some reason, instead of keeping your mouth shut and not trying to cause a confrontation, they're purposely trying to just get you going. They're trying to get you, get underneath your skin, and they want you to get into an argument with them because they thrive off of it. Some people
I
love
love
to
it.
fight.
That's what I was gonna say. And then I love once the fight starts, they're going, well, why are you being like this to me? Why are
Yes.
you so upset with me? And I'm thinking, this isn't rocket science. This isn't rocket science. I know why this is going on. I know why I'm reacting the way I am.
Yes. And they know too, deep down inside, some people just, they love confrontation, and it probably stems from their childhood, but whatever the case, if you have people like that in your family, don't fall into their trap. Don't fall into it, you got to walk on eggshells with them, unfortunately. And you just you know what to say and you know what not to say, and don't fall into it, and just say, okay, just like you said, okay, and that's it.
No, but with everything coming up for the end of the year and New Year, if anything, I know it's early, but one thing I've been doing already is thinking about what can I do to better myself for the new year.
Yes.
And I'm not even thinking of it as a New Year's resolution, because I can't stand those, especially when I have friends who are telling me, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, and 2 weeks later, we're going out for pizza. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it lasted 13 days. Okay, that's good. We try.
I always break my resolutions. I try, but I never.
So I'm trying to
gone.
I'm trying to make it where I'm trying to set goals where it's going to benefit my overall well-being, but I'm doing it at the end of the day, any of these things you do when it comes to, you know, setting boundaries, when it comes to being with family or dealing with stress or anything like that, you know your body at the end of the day better than anybody else. I mean, I've even
100%.
told my doctors that. I understand they're educated. I understand they have the information and can advise. But when I wake up every day and I go to sleep every night, I know what's going on.
Yes.
And so, because, you know, as humans, we know that, set goals and boundaries for yourself to better yourself at your pace. Don't worry about what anyone else is thinking. If you see them for the holidays and they're like, well, when are you going to start doing this? When you're ready to do it. If you're not
Yes.
ready to do something or you don't feel it's right, then you don't do it.
Yes. And you could basically even tell them that. Say, you know what? Now is not the right time for me, you know, but thank you for, you know, being concerned. But I think I need to handle this the way that's best for me. But thank you,
Yes.
you know, and then just again, walk away. Don't stay there. Don't listen for the response. Just excuse yourself nicely and walk away.
Yeah.
So I think we really, you know, we hit some really good, you know, pointers. I think everybody that's listening to this can relate, you know, because we all have people in our family and we all have friends that, you know, as much as you may love them, they also can, you know, at the same time, you know, it's like a love-hate relationship basically. And, you know, you're going to see them during the holidays, but you have to just, you know, deal with it. And if it's too stressful, then you don't go. And you just do what Natalie said. You excuse yourself nicely in a nice way, FaceTime the family, you know, or send them a card, you know, for the holidays. Just keep the peace and, you know, be the higher one and don't let other people get to you, because when it comes to the end of the day, the only person that's going to suffer is you, and you don't want to suffer. You know, you want to be at your best and you want to try to be seizure free. And if you are seizure free, you want to stay seizure free, because remember, our condition doesn't go away. And if we don't take care of ourselves, it could easily come back for people who are seizure free. And for people who have seizures, it could get worse. So why put yourself in a bad zone where you could actually infringe hurt on yourself? You know, we have to think about ourselves. Like Natalie said, listen to your bodies, because our bodies are always talking to us. It's time to pay attention and do what it says. Do you have anything else you want to close with, Natalie?
No, I think you summed it up really good. But no, what I found hard, I tell everybody, but I find hard to do myself is self-love. So,
Yes.
you know, with all these things, if there's any advice I can give with closing this, is do what you can in times like this to practice some self-love and not allow others' toxicity to be around you. Just
Yes.
remind yourself at the end of the day, you do matter.
Exactly, 100%. And for anyone who's interested, I write about that in my book, Empower Yourself. And I talk about self-love, because self-love is so important to heal yourself and to better yourself and to move forward in life. So if you want to look up Empower Yourself on Amazon, it's there. I talk about my epilepsy in it too. And I talk about accepting yourself, loving yourself, caring for yourself, and all the other good stuff that goes with it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you are the most important thing that matters. And you need to take care of yourself. You need to love yourself, because we have one life on this planet, as well, you know, as from what I know, and you want to make the best of it. So listen, guys, have a great holiday. Enjoy yourself for Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourself for Christmas and Hanukkah and for the new year. And we are going to be seeing you soon, because you're not going to get rid of us that easy, because we're coming back. We're coming back with a new topic, and we have a great topic planned for you on the next one that Natalie and I were talking about. So see us next week as we go on to help you with more issues about epilepsy and how to cope with it. Thanks so much for visiting us.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great one.